Hey guys, this is Smithy. Welcome to my channel. Today's video is so very special. It's another 3 palettes, 3 looks video, and I absolutely love doing this video just because it gives me a chance to use the palettes that I already have in my collection even more. And this week we are going to tackle Adept Cosmetics Unity palette. This is a very recent palette in my collection. I just got it like last week and I wanted to give this a try. I obviously got it on a sale price. There were aspects about this that I absolutely loved, and there were aspects that I am not a big fan of. That's why I was waiting on a sale. But first palette is the Unity palette. The second palette is the Ensley Flourish palette. This is such a beautiful summer palette, so I definitely wanted to give this a try again. Really pretty. And then we have the Sydney Grace Tiny Marvels palette. It's an OG Sydney Grace palette, and in the memory of Mel, let's use this again. But that's all. If you guys want to see all the 3 looks using these palettes, then please keep on watching. Let's begin our look with the Adept Unity palette. Such a beautiful neutral tone palette. I recently, very recently bought this palette, so I definitely wanted to try this for you guys. So I thought, why not try it for like a 3 palettes 3 looks video. I'm going to start off with this shade, this maroony kind of shade. It's muted, but it has like a little bit of maroony plumminess to it. I'm just going to pack it in the outer corner, and then I'm going to melt it with that lightest shade in the inner part of the crease and see if that will act like a crease shade or is it too light, because it's very close to my skin tone shade. So we'll see. I'm going to take that same shade on the outer corner of the lower lash line too. Now let's start with this shade, Tranquil Tone. This might be super light. Yeah, this is pretty much like my skin tone shade. So I'm going to just keep it right there for an added brightness. You know, I like these shades just for blending out any other shades that we have going on. And now I'm going to take this shade, Mauve's Mist, this one. And I'm going to mix it with that Tranquil Tone shade, the first shade. And then put that as my crease shade. So it'll give me like a mauve base. So that I don't want too much of mauve, just because the top that I'm wearing is a very light mauve. It's not like any deep or anything. And I want that tone to reflect on the eyes too, just as like a transitioning shade. Okay? Taking that same shade on the lower lash line too, just to blend everything out. Just intensifying the outer corner shade just a tad bit, just so that we don't lose on the depth. Okay? Now time for shimmers. I'm going to start off with this shade. And this is Tranquility. It's such a beautiful, like a light mauve. And I know I want to take that in the inner portion. And I'm going to leave the center blank just for another shade. But this is such a beautiful neutral shade. It has like a blue speck running throughout it, but it's predominantly a mauve shade. Look at how pretty that is. That's so pretty. Okay, now I'm going to take this shade, this one. This is Unison Utopia. And I'm going to just take that as a melting shade with that deeper maroon shade. Again, a very smooth but sparkly shade. This is such a beautiful neutral palette. I actually was debating whether I need to get this or not, just because I think there are a few aspects that I do not like. I don't like this magenta shade. This I can see myself using. This I hardly use like these kind of shimmers on the eyelid, but the rest of the palette was definitely appealing to me. And when it was like on a sale, I really couldn't pass this, because I think I got it for like $20 or something. And I was like, Smithy, for $20, it's an absolute steal. Now for the inner portion of the crease, I am going to take this Balanced Bond shade, this one. And I'm going to take this in the inner corner, sweeping it in the crease. So I'm going to just take it. Oh, wow. That's so pretty. Yeah, this is such a beautiful, like an office palette. I'm excited to wear this to work today. Wow. There's so many shimmers that I absolutely love in this palette. Okay, let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And there you go. That's my look with the Unity palette. I really love how beautiful, ethereal, and so everyday friendly this is. I cannot wait to wear this to office even more. I really love it. I definitely know that I love the combination of the sagey greens with the mauve tones. So I definitely can see myself like mixing and matching this palette again, because Adept Cosmetic does all magnetic palettes. I can definitely see myself taking like 2 or 3 portion or shades out of this palette and just making it my own. I love the shimmers of this palette. It's so ethereal. Wow. I am so surprised. The new Adapt EBE's palette, I don't know, EBE's palette, I feel like it's like a very much like a sister palette to the Unity palette. It's a little deeper version and less everyday friendly and more like shifty. If you liked this color story, if you liked shifty shadows more and a little bit more green leaning, like because all the shifts that I could see in the shades were all like green leaning, I think you would like that palette. But if you're not a big fan of like shifty shadows, especially like green leaning shadows, I think Unity is a great option. But that's all with the Unity palette. Now let's move on to the next eye look. Okay, let's begin our second look with the Tiny Marvels palette from Sydney Grace. It's been quite some time that I've not used it, so I'm a little worried also. Hopefully nothing is expired because I don't want that. I'm going to start off with Jewel Bee, and this I'm going to take that in the inner part of the crease, and this is going to be our crease shade, at least in the inner portion. Just right there, okay? I'm just recovering still with my eye, so might be not the most amazing decision that I've done in my life, because I do have like a sty in my eye this side, so I'm not gonna overly pollute this, and I will take this off too as soon as I finish recording. The reason why am I recording is mainly because I am going on a vacation and I don't want to give you all the videos in advance before I go. That's why I'm recording in advance. So now taking that deeper shade, which is Spider, this one, in the outer corner. I'm just gonna take that and melt it down with that purple shade, okay? Concentrate on this eye rather than the other eye because I'm a little scared about the other eye. Nothing much, I'm depositing and then I'm gonna just melt it down with the lavender shade. I'm going to do the same thing on the lower lash line too. Just using the same 2 shades in the inner and the outer corner, and I'm taking this Death Moth shade as a blending shade between both, okay? Just to melt everything together, okay? Now once we have that, now we want to add shimmers. For the shimmers, I'm going to start off with this shade Scarab. Love this. This is my favorite blue brown shade. It's such a beautiful, soft but shiny kind of shade. It's very subtle but also super dimensional. So I'm going to just take that all across the eyelid. Okay, just like that. And then for the inner corner, I am gonna take, let's take this shade, Fire Buds, right there in the inner corner. It's such a beautiful, vibrant, like a soft green gold shade. Not soft by any means, it's super vibrant for sure. I'm gonna take that same Fire Bud shade right in the center. And if you've not experienced the Sydney Grace shadows, they're very soft, they're very elegant, they're very shiny on the eyes too. So you're not going to see a lot of like sparkle, but a lot of shine and very smooth shadows. Let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And there you go, that's my second eye look with the Tiny Marvels palette. I really love the quality of Sydney Grace eyeshadows. Let it be mattes or shimmers, they're absolutely beautiful quality. If you are looking for smooth shimmers, this is the brand to go for, and the mattes are extremely beautiful, blendable. I don't think you'll be disappointed with any Sydney Grace eyeshadow palettes. If you love a color story, you'll definitely love it. This is definitely an older palette from Sydney Grace that I absolutely love the color story even for today. Even today's world, since people are coming out with those like grungy greens, I think Mel already saw it in her dreams that this is going to be a beautiful hit palette, and I absolutely love it. So that was the look with the Tiny Marvels palette. Now let's move on to the last look with the Flourish palette. Let's begin our last look with the Flourish palette. This is such a colorful palette. Let's see what we need to do. Of course, I've never dipped into that hot pink. Maybe today is the day. We don't know, okay? Don't get excited. I'm going to start off with this shade on the outer corners and see where it takes us. I'm going to keep that right here. Such a deep dark, it's not an eggplant, it's not a burgundy, but somewhere in between, and it's absolutely apt for this palette because there are so many neon shades in this palette. I feel like it just meshes well with all those colorful shades. Okay, once we have that all depth out in the outer corners, I'm gonna take a little bit into the crease too, just a little bit. Again, because this palette is so colorful, I want a little bit more of depth to be mixed with the other shade. So far I've only used one shade. I'm also going to take that same shade, Gligna, in the lower lash line too. Just right there, okay? Just to ground everything out. Now, I'm going to take that hot pink shade, Pink Paradise, this one, and I'm going to start off there and then pull it down in the crease. I'm not using a packing brush. I'm using a very, very fluffy brush just so that I don't get too much of pink on my brush. You know, I do chicken out with colorful shades, but you can definitely get that opaqueness if you use more of a packing brush. Right now, I'm just using that as my crease shade and a very light dusting just so that I get that pink but not like a hot pink. Hopefully that makes sense. For the shimmer, what are we gonna do? I am gonna start with this Dahlia Magic shade, or should we use Buttercup Bliss? Maybe this would be a little bit more. Let's start off with Buttercup Bliss, which is like a yellow to a pink shifting shade. I'm going to start up with that in the inner part of the eyelid, and it's more like a toppery shade, but it's very, very shifty too. Just pack that in the inner part of the lid. Once we have that all across the middle part of the lid, now the question is, should we use Nectar or should we use, let's use this Dahlia Magic shade, and I'm going to take that right there and melt it down with that Buttercup Bliss shade as well as that deeper shade that we have in the outer corners, just as like a meshing shade, because Dahlia Magic definitely has like an orange, pink, magenta kind of shade. It comes very, very beautifully. Now once we have all that deposited, I'm just going to take that deeper shade again and just intensify the outer corner and just blend everything out. Okay, just like that. Now for my inner corner, I am going to dip into this Sunbeam shade just a tad bit, and I'm going to put that right there as a brightening shade. It's such a wet looking shade on the eye. Extremely, extremely beautiful. Okay, let me finish off this eye with some liner and mascara. And there you go, that's my final look. I really, really love the Flourish palette. I feel like, especially the shimmers, they are so special, they're so dimensional. I really, really love the aspect of this. And if you are like worried about like having a all neon palette, I feel like this is such a beautiful, colorful neon palette, because of course there are some pops of neon mattes in this palette, but you also have the great mix of like light mattes to a deep matte. And of course the shimmers, they complement the eye so well, and they're different like variety of shimmers here too. This shimmer is definitely a little bit more textural. I'll show you in the swatch. Whereas let's say any of the other shimmers, they're all like very smooth, like the way that I applied in the eye. So this one was more of that chunkier shimmer, and you'll see when you'll see it in the swatch, you'll know the opaqueness and the chunkiness that I'm talking about. But look at that, this one is that chunkier shimmer, and you can see it in the swatch, but it is super dimensional. So if you do not like have creasing issues on your eyelid, you will absolutely love it. But look at this one, this is more like a thinly packed shimmer, which is extremely dimensional and shifty again, but it would not emphasize any texture on the eye. So I definitely wanted to mention that textural difference. Whenever I have to apply this, I generally do smoothen it out on the skin and on the fingers, and then apply it on my eyelid, and then it appears really well. But that's all. I really hope that this video was helpful for you guys, and I loved every single palette that I used in this video. I really love it. Now let's move on to the outro. Now you guys have to let me know, out of the 3 looks, which one was your favorite. Was it from the Ensley Rain Flourish palette? Such a beautiful, colorful, summery palette. Or was it the Adept Cosmetics Unity palette? Again, a very spicy, neutral palette. I love this one. Or was it our OG Sydney Grace Tiny Marvels palette? And you do let me know if you have the OG Sydney Grace Tiny Marvels palette. Do you still use it or not? But that's all for today. If you did like my video, you know what to do. Do give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And ring that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I post next. I generally upload 3 videos every single week. Every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 9 AM Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.